pre-production process, the production process, and the post-production processes. What is important to know is that in pre-production is where you do all of the groundwork to make sure that your video has the correct location, scripting, talents. It is sort of like the conversations that you have to your kid. If you want to become a superhero, which superhero do you want to become? You have Batman, Superman, Iron Man, Captain America. Take one for a reference. Your kid wants to become an Iron Man. So an Iron Man movie now needs not only an iron suit, but also need a villain. And perhaps a song, and locations, and talents, and so on and so forth. But treat it this way, right? So the pre-production process is where you decide on how your video want to be. There are no electricity, so we have to have Joseph to help us out with the generator. Orange color light to the left a little bit. To the left. Okay, stop. Okay. Yeah, our bandmates are currently getting a haircut in the middle of a shoot. Like why people do that? I don't know why. And this is where YouTube is so important because it gives you a plethora of options for you to choose from. You can go to YouTube, search on something as simple as interview styles or something as complicated as 3D rendering. Now, because of the fact that YouTube is so vast, you can easily reference those kind of videos and understand the complexity of those videos and implement them in your pre-production process, which will help you later on. So the pre-production process normally includes locations are so critical to making sure your videos look great. It could be somewhere like a home, or it could be as complicated as a green screen studio, which you need to pay $6,000 to rent. And the next thing to note is talents. Can anybody become an MC? Can anybody host or guide the video? Or do we just have a CEO talking over in an interview? All you gotta do for that step is to make sure they book out their time, provide them meals, makeup, and some directing, acting coaches on set. And in this category, I like to explore music. Now, music is something that you can argue like, hey, you don't actually need the music here on the pre-production process. You can actually have the music towards the end in the post-production process. And I agree. To a certain extent, there are times when I actually use the pre-production process to put my music inside, but there are times when I put it onto the post-production, and let me tell you why this is the case. In the pre-production process, having selected your music first will give you an idea on what kind of edit style that you want to go for. Is it a fast-paced edit scene, or is it a romance scene that takes slow? Is it a action-packed scene? Stuff like that. It's very critical. So once you selected your music, the next thing to note is to identify the beats of the music. So if you heard of this term, editing to beat, it is a very common term used in most cinemas or even most movies or even on TikTok. Come on. I mean, if you play TikTok, you already know this, right? Most of the effects, the VFXs artists use music cues to try to make the edit make sense. So at the beat of the music, the scene changes. Now, down to the post-production process, why would you want to put a music towards the post-production side is number one, because you may not actually have so much time to identify what kind of genre do you want in the first place. Sometimes shoots can go as fast as you know what, I want you to shoot tomorrow. You don't have a lot of time to do pre-produce all of these things. More critical stuff like location, talent, gears, everything needs to be correct first. The music can be done later on. Trust me, there are so many music sites for you to choose from. You can never actually run out of music. I've never actually had a project where I'd be like, you know what, there's not a single music that can go on for this. Let me custom make my own music. Yeah, that'll be the case, but you'll be shocked to find out that you can do so much with music subscribe licenses like Epidemic Sound. This video is not sponsored, by the way. In Epidemic Sound, you can actually download most of the songs in its stems. Now, most people don't know about this. You just download the full song, put it in the video, and that's it. But what you can do is to mix the songs to make sure that you download all the stems. Now, once you download all the stems, you get the kicks, the bass, the drums, the guitar, everything else is separated. And once it's separated, you can easily piece them out to make sure that... Dude, I keep hitting the mic, man. I'm like, okay, that was a lot to take in for pre-production. I never thought I'd go that far, but hey, it is what it is. Now, down to the production. Production means you're actually physically on site shooting. Now what do you need to do? You need to set up your tripods, C-stands, your lighting, your cameras, filters, your audios, your boom poles, and even sometimes you have to direct talents as they need, to go through their lines once more. And I gotta say, a lot of videographers tend to forgo the most crucial part in making a video work or a movie: the talents. So talents are the main reason why narrative videos are being driven, why stories are emotionally good. So it's very important for the directors to spot this and say, you know what, take 5, let's have a quick 5. Do you need anything? A Subway or a Coca-Cola? Do you need something like that? Now to the last one, post-production. Post-production is where the most fun happens and the most stress happens as well. Have you heard the term fix it in post? If you have not, save yourself. Do not get into this industry, okay? Post-production is where most of the thing that's being done can be VFX, can be animation titles, can be subtitles. I hate subtitles, I'm telling you, I hate them. Then you can be color grading, color correcting, scene pacing, and stuff like that. So in the ideal scenario where you shoot everything perfect, there should not be any reshoots anymore. But this is far from ideal. We're talking about, sometimes when you shoot a scene, you think, all right, it's done. I think I got my stuff. And then you go back into the editing room and you be like, oh, wow, the audio is so bad. And then you realize you've been recording on the wrong audio, which happened to me. I actually shot a video earlier on. Looks great, but you know what? I recorded on the wrong audio recorder, so the audio sounds like this. It looks like that. So a lot of us, now this is so critical, a lot of us spam this animation titles where they fly from the left, fly from the right, it just looks cheesy and in a way cheap, if I will. Now should I have paid more attention on the production processes by putting in something like a earphones to monitor my audio? Audio check, 1 2 1 2, audio sounds great. Then I would have skipped the hassle to having to reshoot everything again because of the fact that I have really bad audio. And that's why in today's setting, I'm currently running on 2 audios. So I have the Rode NTG mic right here. This is connected to my PC. This one should not fail because this is very, very expensive. And I'm also running a lavalier mic up here, just in case if I mess up my audio here, I now have an audio here. So what happened on the last shoot, right? So I've accidentally recorded my audio in my headphones. And believe it or not, this headphone was sitting down below the table. Now in post, you can actually correct this by using something called the notch filter. So the notch filter looks something like this. And all I have to do is to get the number 4, moving all the way to the back, and now suppress that sound. But when I suppress that sound, my audio sounds like this. It looks like that. So a lot of us, now this is so critical, a lot of us spam this animation titles where they fly from the left, fly from the right, it just looks cheesy and in a way cheap, if I will. And that's why video production houses cost a lot of money, because you have to ensure all of these 3 processes, the pre-production, the production, and the post-production, all align. It's like an Orion's belt now I think about it. Stars align. Alright, and there you have it, folks. The very 3 basic of video production 101. The pre-production, production, and the post-production. Now there are a lot more subcategories lying underneath all of this, but I'm not going to go too in details on all of this. Very important to get your content correct. Once your content correct, you can shoot on an iPhone, it's fine. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, okay? Thank you so much for watching. My name is Rodric, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe.